Hello, today we're going to show you how to gouge a piece of cane on the Opus1 Gouger to get your best results. The first thing you need to do is, of course, have cane, which I soak up in soup, hot, warm water for about 15 minutes or so. Get it wet. You know, I don't want to gouge dry. I want to have it gouged wet. So the cane, when it's planed and chopped length, you want the cane to be 8 millimeters across this flat surface. All right, if it's wider than that, it's not going to finish gouging. It'll be rubbing too high for the guide. And if it's smaller than that, then it won't have enough of the guide affecting the curves, and it will gouge a little too thin sometimes, or just not in a controlled fashion. So, the cane should be straight also, and so if you look at the cane here, you can see you have this piece of cane has like a little hollow in the middle. You want that appearance to be the same from here to here as you go across the cane. It shouldn't be like a lot of hollow showing here and then nothing showing over here, or less or more of the hollow, because that tells you the cross section of the cane changes from here to here. So that should look exactly the same the whole length, and that tells you then that there's a good chance that the curvature of the cane is consistent from end to end. That's what you want. So it's 8 millimeters across flat and straight this way. It doesn't go off that way or that way. You can twist a little bit or go this way or that way. Just a smidgen, then you can straighten that back out. But if it goes from the flat that way or that way, that's not usable at all. So before I cut it, on the gouger, I will trim the ends off a little bit. I go up about a ½ inch and cut off the outer third, just like you're paring an apple. And that helps the blade feed gradually up into the side, so that it has a better chance to have a nice clean take on the side of the gouge, versus the blade abruptly hitting it. Because if the cane's going to rip, it's going to rip on the sides pretty eagerly. So trim the sides out like that. So with the gouger, to use it, I'll open it up. Now we have a cane grip system in the gouger, which is this. Now if you don't want to use this, you can cut your cane a little bit shorter, as long as it still stays under the clips. But if it's a little bit shorter, then it won't be touching both walls at the same time, and you can feel it slip back and forth slightly. But then you could gouge it then as a regular bed. It won't be using the cane grip system. But to use this, I'll pull the clip back here, put the cane against the left cane stop, then pull this cane stop back, or clip back, and then center it in the bed, close the clip on the cane, and then pull this back. And that clip pulls the cane down into the bottom of the bed. And now it's being gripped on both ends, and it won't move in the bed as you gouge. And so to do this, I usually will pull this clip back with my middle finger, and grab this pull thing here with my middle finger and thumb, and pull this back with my index finger, and then pull the cane out, flip it over, put it back in, center it. And always remember to do this. If you don't do that, the cane's going to be resting on the top of the guide, or the cane stop, and it's going to rip. So you don't want to have that happen. So again, taking it out, putting it in, taking it out, and it's pretty nice. As you get used to it, then it feels second nature after you get doing it for a while. So then, always make sure this is clean of cane debris between the blade and guide. I'll take WD-40 and I'll squirt it on the rod and go back and forth to make it very slippery. And it won't damage it because the rod is hardened steel and the bushing is hardened steel. Okay, so now, to gouge, we have the cane put in the bed, like this. We close the carriage forward. Now the rod is lubricated, so it's nice and smooth. And I'll hold the gouger with my index finger and thumb over here, and kind of support with this finger here. And I'll have my thumb on the front part here, which is the main focal point of the pressure. And these guys are just back here in the comfortable position. And I'll take the carriage back, move forward. And then I begin as I gouge, take the cane out like that. And I go down a little ways, I'll flip it. And I don't want to go all the way down, because then if I do, then when I flip it, the cane that is here and I'm putting it away. That cane is missing over here because I already gouged it away. So if I gouge too far down, then the guide really can't work on this direction as it did this direction, and it won't make the gouge as symmetrical. So flip it, fairly often, maybe 4 or 5 passes or so. You'll get a feel for it yourself though. So now I flip the cane, put it back in, this side, and I'm noticing that the cane is coming up on the inside part of the blade, this side over here, not over here, because this is the final curve of the blade. This is just sort of clearance cutting over here. So this inside curve cuts both walls as you flip it, and that will guarantee symmetry. Always make sure there's nothing in the bed, no cane dust or that kind of thing. This one here too. And when I feel it move freely, I know it's finished on that side, and I want to keep flipping it until it's moving freely in both directions. A little bit still comes up here. Now it's free there, but because I cut lower on that side, I may be able to get more over this side. So I have to go here and make sure that it cuts freely. Yep, that looks good. So now, since the thing cuts in both directions, I know I finished out with a gouger. I'll take my micrometer and I'll measure the center. I'm about 60, 61, which is good. And what I do is I'll then check the very, very, very sides, which is the point where the gouge leaves the cane on an 8mm piece of cane, and that'll be about 40. So that gives you about 48 or so behind the ears when you shape it and gouge it there. And the point halfway down between the center and the sides, that's about 55 in that ballpark, that's good. Okay, and that's all there is about gouging cane. Okay, thank you very much.